Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of How to Speak in a Dublin Accent with me, Mrs. Gibney. Now, today I'm going to discuss a topic that people in Dublin are no stranger to. And of course, all the people of Ireland are very familiar with this topic. And of course it is the word alcohol. Just like the Eskimos, who have many words for snow, we in Ireland have numerous words for alcohol. So I'm going to explain all the kinds of words we have revolved around the demon drink. Now, if somebody says, do you want to go for a pint? They don't particularly mean just a pint of Guinness, for example. They mean, would you like to come to the pub and have whatever drink you feel like having? If you want to have if I'd get an orange, vodka and orange, or if you don't understand that, vodka, what the Russians drink, and orange, or you might say orange, right? Or you might say, I don't know, a gin and tonic, or a glass of Beamish, or wherever. Now, I myself, because I'm a lady, I would never have a pint, in a pub. That's very manly, very masculine. I wouldn't have a full pint now. I'd have a glass of Guinness, which is a half of a pint. And then I'd have a blackcurrant top on it. Blackcurrant. Right? So anyway, usually the custom is, when myself and the girls, now they're not really girls, they're my age, they're really owl ones, and an owl one is an old lady, but we call ourselves the girls because we've never grown up when we're together, you know yourself. Anyway, usually on a Tuesday night, we go out to the bingo. And I'm generally heading home to have me dinner, put the spuds on. So I'd usually say to them, listen girls, I'm going to put on the dinner. And they'd say, come on for one, don't be a dry shy. Now a dry shy is somebody who doesn't want to have any crack. And crack is fun. Ceol agus crack in Irish means music and fun. Not to be mixed up with the crack in your arse or the crack that people smoke. Alright? Crack is just having a laugh, having a little bit of fun. So, I don't ever want to be considered a dry shy. So I say, alright, dry shy. Shy. That's like the Irish and the Dublin for the word shit. S-H-I-T is shy. And imagine what a dry shy is like. Imagine shite when it's dry. Well, imagine that being considered your personality. You don't want that. So you go to the pub and you go for the one. Just the one. Alright? So anyway, you generally go into the pub and everybody always wants to be the first person to buy a round of drinks. And the reason for that is because nobody wants to look stingy or mean, Anyway, somebody manages to get the first round in. And then you're sitting there and you're having your drink and you think to yourself, I better go home and get the dinner on. I better go home and get the dinner on. Right, you probably don't know what I better means. It means I should. I should go home and put on the dinner on the gas. Now, gas means two things in Ireland. It means you're very funny. And it is also the other thing that we use if we don't have an electric cooker. We have a gas cooker. Now, you go into the pub, you have your drink, you're after drinking a good good sup of it, and you think, I better go home, right? And then your friend says to you, Mrs. Gibney, yeah? I'm after putting another drink on for you. And you go, oh, you're an awful woman. You're an awful woman. An awful woman, really, it doesn't mean you're a terrible woman, even though you're saying it like that. You really mean, oh, you're an awful woman. You know, you're kind of being sarcastic about it. You really like her. You're saying, you know, you're getting me into trouble, but what can I do about it? So you say you're an awful woman. And you sit there and you have your drink and you're still kind of thinking, I better get the dinner on. But then you have the goo on you, you know. You're in the mood. You're in the mood for a session, you know. So you're out for the night, you know. In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb, as they say. So anyway, you're 6 drinks in, and all the girls are stocious. They're out of their box, and they're geared, right? They're all the kinds of words you'd use for after drinking too much. So anyway, you get home, and you flop on the bed, and you wake up with your tights around your neck, and your head is in tatters, and you're in ribbons, you're in rag order, you're in a jogger. They're the kinds of words you'd use if you have a hangover. And if you're lucky enough to have a hangover on a Sunday and not to have to do too much that day, you can go back to the pub and get the hair of the dog so that you can get over your hangover and start all over again. So I hope that was helpful for you, and I look forward to teaching you more about how to speak in a Dublin accent. All right, see you next time, everybody. God bless. See you later.